One Piece is just that anime. Whenever someone thinks about an anime, they think of One Piece, and rightfully so, and it needs no introduction. So I recently started watching One Piece for the first time about a couple months ago, and so far it's definitely been a ride. It was around the Gear 5 hype back in August, and I wanted in on that hype as well, but, I had never watched it. Obviously, I've, had some spoilers here and there, but I decided to dive in for the 1,000-long episode journey. And, being an anime fan and also pretty much kind of an anime, manga, just comic YouTuber in general, having not watched One Piece is kind of a weird thing, so I just, like I said, decided to take the leap into watching over 1,000 episodes. But what's up, guys? Storm back here with another video, and if you like the content you're seeing, then be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more of me, go check out my other channels, go check out my science and horror channel, and if you want to go follow me on all my socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, those will all be linked down below as well, but if you want some channel merch, that will be linked down below as well. But with all that out of the way, why don't we just dive right on in. East Blue as an introduction arc works really well. When compared to other good shonen anime, I think East Blue stands at the top for the introduction arcs. It introduces everything that makes One Piece what it is: the story, characters, world building, and everything that involves that. With the characters, you introduce to Luffy, Zoro, Usopp, Nami, and Sanji, and the formation of the Straw Hats as a crew. But you see right away that things are different. They each have their own goals and ambitions, but come together as friends and a crew to fulfill those goals. With the first small arc being Romance Dawn, and you get introduced to Zoro, and Luffy meets him for the first time. It establishes the foundation of a partnership bound by loyalty and shared dreams between the two. And then the subsequent arcs involving Buggy, Kuro, and Don Krieg showcase the crew's growing synergy and the challenges they face as they strive towards their common goals. And then when they get the Going Merry, that's just a significant milestone, as they finally got a pirate ship, and it just symbolizes the crew's transition from just a ragtag group of people just fucking around on a small ship to an actual and formidable pirate crew. But then after Romance Dawn, you got Buggy, and I think Buggy is a great character. He works great with comedic relief, and I can't wait to see more of him. And, you get introduced to Nami from that. But then you move on to Usopp, and, the Going Merry comes with that arc. And I think Kuro, he works great as a villain. It's interesting to see the theme of, trust and betrayal when it comes to him and Usopp and just lies in general. And then everything with Sanji and Don Krieg, and so that also leads into, my favorite aspect of East Blue, the introduction to Mihawk and his eventual fight with Zoro, which is honestly one of the coldest moments I've seen so far in recent anime that I've watched. That shit was epic, to be honest. Man's got clobbered by Mihawk. But that's the thing, it sets up Zoro's character as he wants to grow and surpass him, and I can't wait to see the fights that Zoro gets into. But then there's everything with Nami's backstory and Arlong, which I think adds depth to the narrative, revealing a more darker aspect to the world. But I think the second coldest moment of that arc was when Luffy put the straw hat on Nami, and he, Sanji, Zoro, and Usopp pulled up to fight Arlong. At that point, I was like, alright, hold up, I'm excited to see what's about to go down. But then everything with Logtown, which introduces more about the Pirate King, and introduces the character of Smoker, and he's honestly one of my favorite characters so far. But then with them entering the Grand Line starts the Alabasta arc, which is a long, but pretty decent arc, I'd have to say. It shows more of the world building of One Piece, and how even this early on, each island that they go to is different, and that there are so many of them. But then everything with Vivi, Baroque Works, and Crocodile happens. And as the Straw Hats go to save Alabasta from Crocodile, along the way we also get introduced to Chopper, who is another good comedic relief aspect. It was cool to get another Straw Hat introduced, and I know more get introduced later on, but it's cool to see another character added in at this point in the story. Wapol as a villain was alright. He was okay, wasn't really the best, he was just kind of there, to be honest, but I did like that a different type of devil fruit got introduced, that being a zone type, which I guess transforms you into an animal. But when they get to Alabasta is where things finally pick up. You're introduced to Ace, and just the Whitebeard pirates as a whole, and I know that this definitely sets up a lot of future arcs in the coming few hundred episodes. The arc that I'm trying to get to is Marineford. I want to get to that by the end of the year. I got 300 episodes left, but I don't think I'm going to get there, but that's the arc that I want to get to. But like I said, with the introduction of Ace and the Whitebeard pirates, it also just sets up Whitebeard and Blackbeard as characters for future reference. But then just Crocodile as a villain as a whole. You're finally introduced to another one of the 7 warlords, and he's an actual villain. He's an actual threat. When Luffy tries to fight him for the first time is an epic scene. When he stabs Luffy through the chest is a crazy fucking scene. I did not expect that to happen. And then the following fights with him and Luffy are pretty good as well. And it was cool to see each of the Straw Hats fighting against each of the top Baroque Works members. But then after Crocodile and Baroque Works is stopped and Alabasta is saved and they move on to their next journey is when Robin joins the crew. And I gotta say, she's a baddie with some pretty cool devil fruit powers to say the least. But with each character and just the Straw Hats as a whole, I like how each get their respective growth and backstories and how each character is pretty much just influenced by Luffy, which causes them to join him. And then each villain of the different arcs. They all worked in their own way. Some were good, some were okay, but they all push the story forward. Like Captain Morgan, Buggy, Captain Kuro, Don Krieg, Arlong, Wapol, Baroque Works, and Crocodile. But it's after Crocodile's defeat that you see the Straw Hats becoming more notorious and rising up in the world. But I can't not talk about One Piece and not talk about the world building. Each small place is built up and makes the world feel massive, which it is, even though the story is barely explored at this point. But you know that this sets up a lot, from going from the East Blue to the Grand Line and even every individual island, and even to Alabasta. All this just shows that you ain't seen nothing yet, or more accurately, I guess, that I haven't seen nothing yet. Overall though, so far One Piece has been amazing, and I can't wait to watch more and see where the series heads. But with all that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down below if you want to see more videos like this. And with all that out of the way, I will see you all in the next one. Peace, because I got some One Piece to watch.